Is it possible to be an advocate for equality and fuel the fires at the same time? Well, I think so. And I'll explain why that is in this installment. So if you don't know who this is and what I'm talking about, let me fill you in.
Hold on, so...
Is it possible to be an advocate for equality and fuel the fires at the same time? Well, I think so. And I'll explain why that is in this
I don't know
installment.
what fuel the fires mean.
So if you don't know who this is and what I'm talking about, let me fill you in. Lance Sosi is a civil rights activist and a member of the Navajo Nation. He's very prominent on TikTok and has amassed over 2 million followers, and he works to call out bigotry.
Wait a minute. 2 million followers? Oh, this is old.
Against indigenous people. Lance actually has a pretty impressive resume. He's a very active member of the Denver Native American community. He's received a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science at the University of Denver. He's been published in the Denver Post, and he's jacked as fuck. Now Lance deals with ignorant people, he deals with trolls, and he for sure deals with racist people. See, when he's not educating people about Native issues, he's calling out racist and ignorant people on the app.
This is a very positive interpretation of Lance, because he mostly just race baits.
So, in a way, he kind of does what I do. See, I talk about interesting people on the web, but I also call out their problematic behavior. And quite frankly, when Lance does cover racist and ignorant people on this app, I enjoy it. However, I also find Lance to be a major hypocrite, and his complete lack of self-awareness and utterly divisive behavior only does more harm than good. For example, Lance will often call out people who've made offensive statements or jokes online, but then turn around and say shit like white women can be supportive allies to Native Americans if they stop having babies. And whether or not that's
true, I think that you should just, you all gotta do each other, you know what I'm saying? You want to do, the best thing to do is just, date a person of color if you're a white person, just eradicate the white race the best way possible. Because, like, what better way to go than fucking it? You know what I'm saying, dude? That's not a bad idea, actually. I should have done that by wearing a white woman. All right, hurry up.
That's a joke, that's still in bad taste. While Lance will make videos calling out stereotypes and shattering misconceptions about Native American people,
I think the biggest issue is that like when you make like very Lance's content is like very divisive. It is like race baiting. It is racist. The problem is that he makes content for his for his followers. And when you're trying to be an advocate for something, that's not really the best way to operate, because it tunes people out of the conversation that may need to hear your message. So that's a big issue.
He'll turn around in the next video and make a vast generalization about white people. For example, when people were rightfully upset after he made the claim that he didn't move for white people on the sidewalk as somehow a way to combat racism, if that makes sense, he then went on to say that those same people who were upset would have been the ones who would have condoned and supported vehicular manslaughter at BML protests.
Did he really say that? That's insane. I remember seeing that video from Lance where he's like, you know what you could do? One way I combat racism, I don't move for white people. Me personally, I think you should just move for anybody who's walking at you. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's really no hot take to have here.
1. Gross misrepresentation. 2. Blatant whataboutism. 3. Way to tiptoe around the issue. Yeah, I know I punched you, but John Wayne Gacy killed more than 30 people, so... Well, yeah, but you still punched me. And if you say no, because power and privilege equals racism, understand that this isn't accepted by the general public, and even sociologists can't agree on that.
Well, so here's the thing. I would have no problem having a conversation about the fact that you can be racist towards white people. But it doesn't really matter. We don't need to have that conversation right now. Because the biggest problem with this is one of my biggest issues with people who say you can't be racist towards white people is that they use it as a shield to be prejudiced by their own definition to white people. Oftentimes what happened, and Modern Warrior has done this, is he'll do something that's meany to white people. He'll be racist towards white people. And then when you say, hey, that was racist, he says you can't be racist because of power. But in the definition where you can't be racist towards white people, you can still be prejudiced towards white people. And a lot of people, this is the problem. If we were all very intelligent about the conversation and it was like, yeah, maybe you can't be racist. I personally don't think we should compound systemic racism and individualized racism. Two different things to me. That's what this definition does. It pushes them together. I would be fine with embracing that if the majority of the people that would say you can't be racist towards white people weren't justifying their prejudices towards white people. Instead of saying like, oh, you can't be racist towards white people, but you can still be prejudiced, which is bad. They just say, oh, I did a racist thing towards white people. Well, you can't be, so I'm good. And they continue the rhetoric, right? That's like one of the biggest issues is it's just not a good definition. It's not good. It propagates hate. I think it's better to acknowledge systemic racism versus individualized racism. So
And if you really want to get into it right now and say that I'm uneducated, I can tell you right now that the term was made up by David T. Wellman in the 70s, who literally admitted to saying that he made up the term to win ideological debates, to redefine the word racism, and forward his own agenda. I just wish that Lance can realize that when he has this type of approach to valid criticism, it only makes him look worse, and he's becoming even more divisive. It makes it really hard to believe that he's acting in good faith when he does things like that and people misunderstand where he's coming from, and instead of acting politely and civilly and explaining to them, he just says, well, guess what, colonizer? You're just ignorant. Overall, I think that Lance has a passion for what he does and is very educated, but his attitude and lack of self-awareness will be the death of him. Lance, you have every right to believe that power plus privilege equals racism, but I also want you to consider this. 2 wrongs don't make a right. If you made it to the end of this video without commenting, I applaud you. I do. Is it possible to be an advocate for equality and fuel the fires at the same time?
Okay. That sounded fine. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree. You know, I don't think there's any real reasoning with Lance, to be honest with you. But okay. So Lance said he was going to respond. That was 12. What is this? Was this in October or November? What the hell? Just scanning through this here to see if I can find it, because there seems to be like he's probably, wow, that's not incredibly loud at all. Okay, so this is on November 10th. Okay, so that's when this was made. Let's see, we have 5th, 6th, 7th. It's a 6th. Okay, we have 10. He says he's responding soon on the 19th, which means he obviously couldn't have responded yet. Okay. There we go. I guess this is the next round.
Build your entire channel around the obsession.
Hey, we're not there yet, Lance. Chill out. All right, let's watch this. I guess this is a response to that video.
I also find Lance to be a major hypocrite, and his complete lack of self-awareness and utterly divisive behavior only does more harm than good.
Hey, colonizer.
Get it?
Oh, did you just call him Colin? Oh, fuck. I thought I got it on par.
So you're saying I'm a hypocrite, I lack self-awareness, and I am divisive. Let's talk about self-awareness.
Okay.
Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, and emotions do or do not align with your internal standards.
Sure.
Now, unless you're talking to my therapist or reading my journal, that is a very ignorant thing to say.
That's a weird take. This is one of the things I don't like about some people, like content creators especially, is they kind of pretend that, like, you don't know me. But it's like, you guys, we do kind of know you. You guys know me. You know, like, we're content creators. Fucking 90,000 people liked this. People get like you get to see this person, what they do, their interactions, all over, based on what he said online. Like, yeah, it's pretty reasonable to say that. I don't know. Maybe he is self-aware. He just doesn't give a shit. I don't know. But it's not like you're some random guy on the street. You know, you don't know me, like some dickhead. You're like, I don't know. He didn't donate to a homeless guy. And you're like, wow, you hate homeless people. He's like, oh, yeah? Well, I actually gave $1 million to homeless people the other day. So fuck you. You know what I'm saying? We're not that person. So, yeah.
For example, Lance will often call out people who've made offensive statements or jokes online, but then turn around and say shit like white women can be supportive allies to Native Americans if they stop having babies.
I made this joke to spark a conversation. So
that's bullshit, bro. Listen, man, I'm all for edgy jokes. The problem is that he's constantly criticizing edgy jokes. So when he makes them, it's very hypocritical. Like, yeah, not a hot take, pretty normal. I was just trying to spark this conversation. Me too, Lance. Me too. Let me make a funny joke about something else that's really inappropriate. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, well, actually, like, this is even worse than it was just it's just a joke defense. Because it's not just a joke. See, if I made a bad joke, or if I said something offensive and say it's just a joke, that's already shitty. But if I say something offensive and I go, no, I was trying to educate you. Like, well, shut the fuck up. What a pretentious thing to think. What an asshole. Just stop, bro. You made an offensive joke because you wanted to make a joke and you feel comfortable because you don't get punished for being racist.
Here we are. In the 1960s and 70s, 25% of childbearing Native American women were sterilized without their knowledge.
Okay, that's terrible. So then why didn't you say this after you made the joke? Like immediately. Why did you wait to get called out? This is the problem. So this whatever he's going to say is probably educational and good to listen to. We're going to listen to it. But I just want you guys to know that like this it's not like he decided it's not like he decided to say something edgy or something and then immediately go, hey guys, blah, blah, blah. He waited for somebody to criticize him and call him out so he could use it as a shield. And this is what he often does, is that he just uses, like, he'll be racist, and then when people call him out, he'll be like, I'm just educating people. By the way, did you know this? It's just for him. It's a shield. That's all he does. It's kind of pathetic, man.
Black and Latina women were also victims of these sterilization tactics. And so to everyone who called me every single name in the book because of that joke, look inward and tell me the country that you love is not systemically racist.
While Lance will make videos calling out stereotypes and shattering misconceptions about Native American people, he'll turn around in the next video and make a vast generalization.
Wait, so he basically was like, yeah, I was racist towards white people, but then people were mean back to me. So, like, check your privilege. It's like, okay, what the fuck?
White people. For example, when people were rightfully upset after he made the claim that he didn't move for white people on the sidewalk as somehow a way to combat racism.
I mean, you don't have to move for me, Lance, but I feel like you'd probably hurt yourself walking into me. I'm like a refrigerator.
Makes sense. He then went on to say that those same people who were upset would have been the ones who would have condoned and supported vehicular manslaughter at BML protests.
Oh my gosh, I do the same thing, except it's with my car and it's protesters.
Oh my god. See, that was inappropriate, obviously. Pretty edgy joke there. I think inappropriate. We shouldn't be saying stuff like that. Even as a joke, I don't think. But, you know, that's one person, Lance. Now what you're doing is it's really kind of gets like deeper in some kind of like in racist kind of, because, you know, white people are really the only ones calling you out in this case. Like, not every white person or not every person that disagrees with you is okay with even like actual vehicular manslaughter. Like, you're insane. Yeah, I'm a refrigerator because not only am I big, but I also hold a lot of food in my body. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that.
If you really want to get into
I think he thought that was like a really good moment, like a really smart moment, but that was just dumb. That was not really a good message.
Right now and say that I'm uneducated, I can tell you right now that the term was made up by David T. Wellman in the 70s.
You're uneducated on the subject and are wrong. Racism
Was it in Iraq?
coined by Richard Henry Pratt in 1902. Allow me to read what he wrote. Segregating any class or race of people apart from the rest of the people kills the progress of the segregated people or makes their growth very slow. Association of races and classes is necessary to destroy racism and classism. This is funny though, because
listen, I'm not going to say that I know exactly what they're talking about. I'm assuming the other guy was referring to the person who coined the term racism in the new aged way where you can't be, where it's like power plus privilege. You know, all that other, or power plus prejudice, excuse me, sorry. I'm assuming that's what they're talking about.
this is the same man who said, kill the Indian, save the man.
And instead of acting politely and civilly and explaining to them, he just says, well, guess what, colonizer? You're just ignorant.
So you're saying
that's
I
true.
should just be really nice to the people who are blatantly racist to me. And I'm not.
I mean, you probably shouldn't be racist back to people. I mean, like, you could, like, not for nothing, but if all his videos were just like, look, this guy said a racist thing towards me, nobody would tune in. No, but what he's doing is he's just like calling anybody who criticizes him racist. Like, this guy is racist. He's a colonizer. He's a bad person because he spoke out against Lance. He's white and he speaks out against Lance, so he's a colonizer. And like, colonizer, in the way he's using it, is he's trying to be racist. He's trying to boil all white people down to being colonizers. Even though he like bizarrely defended Vikings, saying they didn't colonize. Weird guy, bro. I don't really know. Oh yeah, racism cancels out racism. It's PEMDAS. My bad.
Uncivilized?
Lance, you have every right to believe that power plus privilege equals racism, but I also want you to...
You're wrong again, Colin. Prejudice and oppression make racism. Jesus.
What? What do you...
Make racism.
I don't understand what?
Every right to believe that power plus privilege equals racism, but
I guess he meant power plus prejudice.
I also want you to...
You're wrong again, Colin. Prejudice and oppression.
What? That doesn't even make prejudice and oppression don't even make sense. It would be power and prejudice. What do you mean oppression? Like, Because when you say power plus privilege, it means that the person saying it has to have power, or prejudice, power, and they're being prejudiced. So when you say power plus prejudice, you're saying like the person has power because they're white in this instance. The person has prejudice, and then that would create racism. So if you don't have the if you don't have the power, if you're not white, you can't be racist. That's what it is. But then he turns around to what did he say?
Prejudice and oppression.
So what he's saying is prejudice and oppression. So you have to be prejudiced and be oppressed. He's like, I just want you to understand that, like, when he could have just said no, it's actually power plus prejudice. He even just doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's saying. I'm assuming that he like so desperately wants to disagree with this person that he decided to say something different, and it doesn't even actually make sense. The power and prejudice, that refers to the person being powerful, the white class, and prejudice. If they were oppressed, if you said whatever, prejudice and oppression, then that person would have to be oppressed. And that actually would make sense. That means that literally white people are the only ones who can't be racist, by Lance's definition. Because we're not oppressed. So thank you, Lance. Lance says that white people quite literally cannot be racist. That was really good, Lance. You did a good job.
Racism. Jesus. Next.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot. This is just proof that you could say anything as long as like you're popular, and it doesn't matter. Like people will like, this guy's right. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. He's saying words. It's just word salad at this point. It's just fucking word salad. Okay, so we started with this one. Then we got here. I don't know if he responds or if it got taken down. That's something different. Criticism and racism. I guess this is the criticism he got.
Hi guys, how you doing? I'm still up at Bruce Fest. That's the
okay. I guess this is one super popular.
Stanley Hotel right behind me.
I wish I could fast forward.
Pretty frequent, but I feel like we need to talk about some things. Yeah, I haven't really been able to post some things in the last couple of days because of the festival, and I'm doing homework in between that, so I can keep. It's pretty interesting because there's people mad at me for all sorts of different reasons. It's interesting because there's people that are mad because I criticized Lance. There's people that are mad because
the wind whipping is making me want to fucking.
I was being racist towards Lance, but then there's also people who are.
Right, I'm not even going to subject you guys to this video. I don't really think it's as necessary because I don't think he was wrong in the first thing he said.
This.
Got the back.
I don't see anything. Okay, I see this. I don't know if this was a full-length response. Okay, maybe this was the full-length response. And then... Oh, yeah, this is where he virtue signal over... Yeah, over Max Taylor. Silly stuff. This is really shitty, obviously. Like, that's racist. Inappropriate. But the funny thing is that people... Because what it says, I'll take your scalp, savage, which is like... This is racist. But like nobody agrees with this. Like I don't agree with that. This Dylan kid probably doesn't agree with that. Nobody like agrees with that. Nobody's like, yeah, I think that this is appropriate. No, that's the problem. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. That is, I don't care. It's not to do with this. We're just gonna move up to get his response. I'm assuming. Is this? All right, it's some fucking girl. Who cares? Girls, they stink. Disgusting. Ew. The witches have your back. I just don't know what that means, bro. No. All right, we're getting close. I don't know why I don't just do this. Here it is. All right, there we go.
This is the last video I'm ever making about Lance.
Okay.
Hey, Colin.
Hi, Lance, and yes, I do get the joke.
Let's talk about self-awareness.
Wow, you're fucking amazing with audio. Holy shit.
Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions.
Dude, by the way, this is old school. This is basically old school TikTok commentary bullshit. Except they have 3 minutes to talk now. This is why I'm happy I was banned on TikTok. It's just boring. This is so stupid. Hey guys, let me respond to your point with the. It's so boring, dude. Oh, like just have a conversation together. You know what I mean? Like, what are we really getting out of this?
Thoughts and emotions do
not
align with your internal standards.
Oh my god, this guy.
Yes, that is an aspect of self-awareness, but what I was mainly referring to in the video was the type of self-awareness where you know how your actions and the things you say can be perceived by others and how it can influence them. I'm self-aware in knowing that the people I talk about on my channel can often drive bullies to go and harass them. This is why I put a disclaimer on almost all my videos saying I do not condone it. I'm also aware that you deal with very racist people on this app, which is why I said... Now Lance deals with ignorant people. He deals
Bro, what the fuck is happening?
with trolls, and he for sure deals with racist people. See, when he's not educating people about native issues, he's calling out racist and ignorant people on the app. So in a way, he kind of does what I do. See, I talk about interesting people on the web, but I also call out their problematic behavior. And quite frankly, when Lance does cover racist and ignorant people on this app, I enjoy it. I was very aware that racist people were going to come to my channel, see that video, and think that I supported them, so I made it very clear that I stood by you when you made those videos. And this was a detail you just seemed to mysteriously leave out of your video. Matter of fact, you didn't show anything in this little space bar here. Now about the sidewalk thing. I will admit that I did not get the full context behind that statement. Me as a white man who...
What's the context behind the statement? It was like it was a joke, which would have been fine, but Lance calls out jokes like that all the time.
Does not expect anyone to move out of the way for me on the sidewalk because of their skin tone or sex or anything like that.
It's not that deep, bro. Like, listen, dude, it's really not that deep. People should just move out of the way for other people on the sidewalk. It's not that deep. Stop. It's just stop. Justify, like, dude, it's just move for anybody on the sidewalk. Just move out of people's ways. Move out of other people's way on the sidewalk. Just do that. It's just respectful, fundamentally. But I didn't really understand the depth and nuance of you not moving out of the way. Just move. Everybody should just fucking move. I'm boggling my mind here.
That flew over my head. This lovely individual stitched a video with me and explained to me, hey, here's the context behind it.
Well, first of all, maybe that wasn't the context behind what Lance was saying. He was just being racist. That's it, bro. But also, like, this person probably likes Lance and decided to, like, make an overcomplicated thing a response. She's just wrong. Like, it's just, bro, it's just fundamentally move for people in general. Like, the solution shouldn't be nobody should ever move for anybody. Like, just move for each other.
But that context was left out of your video, and I think it was done on purpose. Now call me crazy, but I think that video would not have gotten the response it did had you said, I do not move for white people on the sidewalk who expect me to move because of my skin tone. And here's what you said about your baby joke.
I made this joke to spark a conversation, and so here we are. In the 1960s and 70s, 25% of childbearing Native American women were sterilized without their knowledge.
Well, I don't think it was very funny.
I wonder how they did that.
Trying to spark a conversation through a joke. And you could have just said that. I highly doubt if anyone else made a joke.
Bro, I don't even know what's going on. I'm just curious.
And said I said that to start a conversation, that you would have accepted that response. And if you really want to get into it right now and say that I'm uneducated, I can tell you right now that the term was made up by David T. Wellman in the 70s.
You're uneducated on the subject and are wrong. Racism was coined by...
Oh, wait, no, wrong. I thought you said something about Iran.
So you took that out of context, Lance. I'm going to run the full clip.
Power and privilege equals racism, understand that this isn't accepted by the general public, and even sociologists can't agree on that. And if you really want to get into it right now and say that I'm uneducated, I can tell you right now that the term was made up by
God damn it.
Wellman in the 70s, who literally admitted to saying that he made up the term to win ideological debates, to redefine the word racism, and forward his own agenda.
Yeah, great. Let's look at context. We know that for a fact.
Remember
what is this? Reply to my... this is more reply? What is
God,
this?
I can't believe I'm breaking my promise to make this video.
How old is this video? This is 2 days later.
Oh my God. I must admit, you seem pretty irate for someone with almost 3 million followers who is focusing so much time and energy on someone who hasn't even broken 100K. No. You've made like 4 comments on my videos already. Dude, I haven't even commented a single time.
Well, Lance probably... The problem is Lance is probably feeling like he's a really... like worthwhile person because he blew up on social media. Everybody feels that way, even though most people on social media, myself included, are just fucking nobody losers that got lucky, you know.
On your stuff, I gotta ask, are you mad? Because there are.
All right, I don't care. This is fucking boring.
Remember when I said?
What the fuck is this? I don't really care. All right, I want to see because at some point he responds to Modern Warrior again later on, I think, or something happens. This is Gemini. Blah 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 blah. I don't know what this is. Sonic Chew, great stuff here. I think and Karen, funny stuff. And Karen, maybe he didn't respond. Okay, I guess I don't know. Anyway, let's see.
Build your entire channel around the obsession.
It sounds like he made a video that was mass reported and pulled down. That's what I'm thinking because Lance made the video or something. I don't really know. I can't find it. But anyway.
Making other people take accountability for their mistakes.
Because this is a new video, yeah.
And you can't take accountability for your own?
Oh, maybe that was in because I remember it was like 3.1. Maybe that was a weird whatever fucking thing from before. I don't care. Let's see.
Hey, colonizer. I'm really fucking tired, so excuse my language.
Okay.
Do you secretly hate me? Because I think you do. This is your 5th fucking post about me. Are your views low? Do you need more clout? Do you need to build a platform?
It's just kind of like a very like egotistical response.
So,
you know?
don't do it with my name. I asked if you hate me because you liked this particular comment.
Modern Warrior monetizes his entire image around hatred. Honestly, not surprised. The animosity to him has grown to this point. He really asked for it. What's wrong with that? That's kind of true. Like he makes money on this, obviously, but like it's not even just about like financial monetization. It's about like views, which are obviously stimulating to people. It's like, oh my god, I'm popular, I have a view. And then yeah, I'm not surprised about the animosity because he does it by being racist, and yeah, he's kind of asking for it. Sure.
So you agree with this person that I deserve death threats? I'm literally in the process of fucking moving, and I have to see your fucking post.
Yeah, see, you're kind of like the fact that you like interpret it that way is like the worst faith interpretation. It's kind of pathetic and embarrassing.
And I have to see your fucking post. Or do you just hate black and indigenous content creators who have a larger platform than you?
What do you think? He's jealous? Is that what the narrative is? Let's see if he hates her.
Okay, let's do this one more time, and I promise I'll be a little nicer. If you don't know who this is and what I'm talking about...
Did he do another one where he was being mean? I'm so confused.
Let me fill you in. Denise Bradley, also known as Aunt Karen, is a TikToker with over...
She's also a dominatrix. And listen, I'm not a particular fan of her and her content, but, I mean, listen, maybe... I got money lying around,
1 million followers and counting. Her content is pretty similar to Modern Warriors, as she dedicates it to calling out bigotry and racists. Now, these videos can vary. Sometimes it's...
If Lance makes an OnlyFans, will I buy it? I would buy it just to review it. Yeah, sure. Privately and publicly, but, because I secretly like the shame, and when I use this colonizer, you guys don't see it, but my desk, you know what I'm saying, like you guys can't see the lower half of me, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
It's just people acting racist on the app. Other times it's racist videos that she sees. Sometimes it's racist comments directed towards her. Now you guys know my stance on videos like these. I mentioned it in my video about Modern Warrior. Okay. I think it's perfectly fine. It's more than okay.
Yeah, I mean it's supporting like a BIPOC business, marginalized business. That's why I buy it.
It's pretty fucking entertaining if you ask me. That one time she trolled a bunch of white supremacists on Facebook, that was fucking hilarious. Okay. Like I did with Lance, I can acknowledge that Denise deals with these types of people every single day. My point in my last video wasn't to say that she was overreacting to this type of behavior.
Oh, shit, I didn't notice somebody donated like $13 like 10 minutes ago. I'll review it after that segment. Sorry, bro. I just have everything muted.
Denise actually runs a YouTube channel with similar videos. In this video in particular, she explains her process in finding these people and exposing them. She always wants to make sure that she's 100% sure that that's what she's dealing with. And I do believe that's how she started. But with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, yeah, sure. Maybe people start off like genuine, and then what happens is they get some popularity, and then they get egotistical, and then they run out of content to make. So they start like creating bullshit content that's dishonest. You know what I mean? That's kind of how that works.
So after your favorite guy made a video calling out Lance's race-baiting tactics, she made a video in response saying that, hey, this guy's not all good himself.
Just look up Papa Got Aunt Karen Modern Warrior, and you'll get it.
The way her story goes is that he and a bunch of his friends put her in a group chat where she was slammed with derogatory terms and racial slurs. Yep. When she DM'd him stating this, he said he was so sorry about that he wasn't doing that, and he apologized.
Yeah, they pulled him into the thing, and then apparently everybody else apparently was like a young black kids or something. I don't really know, and they were saying racist shit. And Karen said she recorded the entire conversation. And said that he did it too, which could have happened, but then she's like, "Oh, I recorded it and all, but I just deleted it." So it's like, okay, you're probably lying. You got caught in a lie, and so you decided not to release the footage. So,
on behalf of his friend's actions, he stated that he does not interact with these people anymore. But she said that she indeed had proof that he was doing that towards her. No. Although I was surprised to see after interacting with him on his live that her story went from "I have proof" to "I had proof." Let's talk about Max Taylor for a sec. You can have your opinions about him. I personally believe that he's not this raging sexist, transphobic person. I think he's actually a cool guy. We're kind of loose friends on the app. But we all have to admit that those...
Oh, loose friends, huh? You loosen you up a little bit? Sus.
clips that Lance took were taken out of context.
Okay.
And Denise supported this message. So when shade was thrown her way about this, she did not apologize. She did
Look at this. This person goes, this is that dude's entire channel is just hating everyone who isn't white. I'm curious if she commented on this. And like somewhat recently. Trying to see. I'm wondering if people are using that defense on like a Gemini as well. I mean, this is Christian's not black or isn't white. Which is Christian is white. Okay. Anyway, where were we? Here? We here?
not admit her mistake. She instead said that Max was siding with racists against her. She tearfully mentioned how she deals with racists on a daily basis on this app, which I said is true, but that tiptoes around the issue. That's an appeal to emotion. I'm still amazed how that whole situation went from being a sexist issue to a racial issue. And I'm not saying she's wrong for feeling mad about that sort of behavior. What I'm saying is that when you build this culture around exposing people, posting their public information, and harassing them online for their behavior, your message gets watered down when you do that towards people who did not do anything. And it's not just that, it's also making fun of people for their appearance, which she did. If she wants to stitch this and do the same thing, I'll give her an easy target. If there's anything I want you to learn from this video, it's that it's possible for a person to do good things and bad things. Denise, you're a beautiful woman, and I respect what you've done, but your merits don't always outshine your flaws.
Yeah, he's simping a little hard for these people. That's fine. When I say these people, I mean like Modern Warrior and Aunt Karen. Historically, that wouldn't have been an appropriate thing to say. You know, how does this relate to UBI? I don't know. Maybe there'd be more jobs with UBI because there'd be more wealth being redistributed and circulated through the economy, so people wouldn't have as much time to sit on fucking TikTok. All right, so he just goes after black people or non-white people. Apparently, that's what Colin said. That's what Modern Warrior said.
Or do you just hate black and indigenous content creators who have a larger platform than you? I also love that. I have a native friend.
I mean, he just calls out bigger content creators. Or interesting content creators. They happen to be bigger. You know.
And so I can't be racist. Intro to that post. To have the day deserved.
Right, well, that was boring.